I love working with a team towards a common goal.
For the camaraderie.
Camaraderie and playing with my teammates.
I play for my team.
Teamwork and the connections that I can build on and off field.
For the community and the exercise.
Because of the community and the competition.
I like playing Ultimate Frisbee for the competition.
I play for the competition and the fun.
For fun.
Because fun.
I love getting to work hard.
You get out of it what you put into it.
Leave everything out here.
Every time I step on the field, I want to be a better player.
You know, give something people to talk about.
Be happy but never satisfied. To step away from real life and focus on Frisbee.
I play because I love Ultimate.
Find your drive.
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 I love working with a team towards a common goal.
For the camaraderie.
Camaraderie and playing with my teammates.
I play for my team.
Teamwork and the connections that I can build on and off field.
For the community and the exercise.
Because of the community and the competition.
I like playing Ultimate Frisbee for the competition.
I play for the competition and the fun.
For fun.
Because fun.
I love getting to work hard.
You get out of it what you put into it.
Leave everything out here.
Every time I step on the field, I want to be a better player.
You know, give something people to talk about.
Be happy but never satisfied. To step away from real life and focus on Frisbee.
I play because I love Ultimate.
Find your drive.
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 I love working with the team towards a common goal.
For the
Camaraderie and playing with my teammates.
I play for my team.
Teamwork and the connections that I can build on and off field.
for the community and the exercise.
Because of the community and the competition.
I like playing ultimate frisbee for the competition.
I play for the competition and the fun.
For fun,
Because fun.
I love getting to work hard.
You get out of it what you put into it.
Leave everything out here.
Every time I step on the field, I want to be a better player.
You know, give something people to talk about.
Be happy but never satisfied. To step away from real life and focus on frisbee.
I play because I love ultimate.
Find your drive.
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 I love working with the team towards a common goal.
For the
Camaraderie and playing with my teammates.
I play for my team.
Teamwork and the connections that I can build on and off field.
for the community and the exercise.
Because of the community and the competition.
I like playing ultimate frisbee for the competition.
I play for the competition and the fun.
For fun,
Because fun.
I love getting to work hard.
You get out of it what you put into it.
Leave everything out here.
Every time I step on the field, I want to be a better player.
You know, give something people to talk about.
Be happy but never satisfied. To step away from real life and focus on frisbee.
I play because I love ultimate.
Find your drive.
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 I love working with a team towards a common goal.
For the camaraderie,
Camaraderie and playing with my teammates.
I play for my team.
Teamwork and the connections that I can build on and off field.
for the community and the exercise.
Because of the community and the competition.
I like playing ultimate frisbee for the competition.
I play for the competition and the fun.
For fun,
Because fun.
I love getting to work hard.
You get out of it what you put into it.
Leave everything out here.
Every time I step on the field, I want to be a better player.
You know, give something people to talk about.
Be happy but never satisfied. To step away from real life and focus on frisbee.
I play because I love ultimate.
Find your drive.
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 Action coming at you. Open pool play. Queens, McGill, two heavyweight programs. Legacies on the line here at the 2025 Canadian University Ultimate Championships. Theo Wan here with Sanjay Parker. And before we start, we'd like to acknowledge that Brampton lives on the treaty territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. And before them, the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee and Huron-Wendat peoples. We also acknowledge that many First Nations, Métis, Inuit, and other global Indigenous people now call Brampton their home. We're honored to live on, work, and enjoy this land as McGill coming on the white jerseys, going right to left in your screen out of Montreal, taking on Queens out of Kingston. And there's a potential top of the pool on the line. There could be a three-way tie potentially here, Sanjay, but both of these teams, eyes on the pool, but also eyes on tomorrow. I think we're going to see these teams further, is what I'm saying.
That's correct, Theo. So just on the group, Queens needs to win by 2 in order to finish top of the group. If they win by 1, I believe it's a three-way tie. I don't know how much it depends on the other game. But yes, I also agree with the other thing you said, Theo. This is an important game mentally for the teams in terms of confidence and such like that. But at the end of the day, I expect to see both of these teams late in the competition tomorrow. So today's more about making sure you pace yourselves, give people the reps, make sure the O-line is playing strong.
Ty O'Donnell now has played multiple Team Canadas, U24, U20 out here, number 10. Out of Vancouver, BC, zipping it over to Leo Gringas, rookie on this team, the lefty. Now finding the hands of Dylan Wu as there's a pick called. So both of these teams coming off a bye. It's very even between the whole pool, right? They don't have an uneven pool, so every team in this pool, because it's a pool of 4, is going to have a bye. Hyde Zhang drawing that O'Donnell matchup. Gringas now, the lefty, finding Kai O'Donnell for the score.
Great first O point there for McGill. That's just what you want. Keep it nice and easy. No risky throws, no big plays, just easy stuff playing with flow.
Now we get a first look at the Queens offensive line, which will be headed by 2 players that play for the Toronto team GOAT in Kai Kwang and Dax Miller, amongst other strong players. Will Beveridge, who's Played for Toro in the past out of Toronto and played for Local 613 this past summer in Kingston. So there's going to be heavyweights on both sides in their O-line.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Hyde also play with Goat this past summer?
I believe so. Practice roster?
Maybe he was PR. It still counts on the resume.
That is
That's
true. You're right.
3 GOAT players on this Queens O-line.
And something unique about this McGill Ultimate Team, Mutt is what their name is called, is that they play in the U.S. Series. So in the U.S. Series, there's a lot of cheers like this that goes on, and we're seeing that being brought over here to the Canadian side. I always have told Queens head coach Pete Galbraith that they need to get Queens trying to play out in the States because they're in the Metro East, which is not traditionally as strong of a region as the region that McGill is in the Northeast, or excuse me, New England, with Tufts, Vermont, UMass, among others there. Northeastern as part of that group. Ty Tomlinson with the disc. Has played for Whiskey Jacks out of Calgary, but also playing for Tire Biz Frizz out of Vermont, an American on this team. Kai Huang now. McGill coming out in his zone. McKibben bouncing up and down on the mark. Charlie Lumley now. Young player on this team. That's Kai Huang with the hammer. Nice grab. And they're walking a little bit disaster, but they do get the score here.
Love to see the hammer to the open side of the field in the first offensive point of the game. That's confidence by Queens that they could execute it. And then a little bit of a bid on that final throw. Nice play. Good defense there by McGill. They were taking away a lot of options. Good. Looking forward to seeing this matchup for the rest of this game.
Don McKinney finding Will Beveridge. I'm curious to see how these teams run lines and such during this game.
We spoke to the McGill coaches before the game, and I think that they're aware that, A, this is a streamed game. Not all these players have been on the live stream before, but also that this is a long tournament. Let's give experience to everyone. Let's give playtime to everyone. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of the different McGill guys touch the field today. So hopefully we get to say everyone's name at least once. With Queens, I think they're taking this game from a slightly different perspective.
Yes.
So I think we might see them start with rolling lines, but they might tighten up as the game goes forward. But that's just generally how Queens have always been.
Yeah, and they've already got eyes on like multiple tie-breaking procedures and what would happen. So what happened earlier was they lost on Universe to Guelph 11-10, and McGill toppled Guelph by 1 with the exact same scoreline actually. So Queens wanting to win by 2 to take the top of the pool. We mentioned this on earlier broadcasts, but in the open division, you either got to come 3-1 on Saturday or 2-1. No team that's ever gone 1-2 has won their pool. Oh, excuse me, has won the tournament. O'Donnell. Dealing with this Queen zone. Looks like it's match defense now after the Queen's call, finding Dylan Wu. Emmett Andrews. Logan Goss has been very calm as a rookie on this team. Dylan Wu finding who else but Kai O'Donnell.
Great throw there by Dylan Wu. He threw it even before Kai O'Donnell was ready for the catch, just because he had confidence in it, and then looked away and didn't even see if Kai caught it. That's chemistry, and that's trust in the teammates. And at the end of the day, I always feel like, and this is hard in university series where you don't get the decades-long experience with a team, chemistry is way more important than talent. And McGill, this is a talented McGill's team, but they've also been around for a long time together, and they really have this bond that I've never seen from a McGill side together before.
You having to play both in the Canadian and American series, I think that will strengthen the bonds of the team, right? And I think that will help.
Bonds, Theo, but it does cause other issues, namely in the sense of rest. If you're playing U.S. in the spring and then Canadian in the fall, and then you have some of these guys playing, Team Canada and club in the summer, that's a very, very long season. And I see a lot of players get injured after playing seasons like that.
Yeah, we talked earlier in the first open game that we had with Max Petnuzzo playing for Team Canada, playing club with Furious. That's going to add a lot of mileage to the legs here, but university athletes, they want it. They want to get better, and that's sort of the mantra and mentality they have here. Seeing a few different defensive line players, so true to the form, they're going to get everyone some burnout here. Ryan Marshall pulling that one, played for Magma out of Montreal in club, part of the Club M system, along with Manic. Gets called here. See if it will stay with Kai Huang. The observers for this game, Troy Martin and Jeff Blair. Not to be confused with the Jeff Blair that talks about my Toronto Blue Jays out here.
Maybe it's the same guy. We don't know.
It might be. Jay's got a big game tomorrow is all I'm saying there, Sanjay. So that's the only baseball talk I'll bring on the broadcast. I'll leave it there.
Bases were loaded, Theo. Bases were loaded.
Not a good game for us yesterday. Okay, back to the action here. Kai Huang has an open Tomlinson who says, hey, throw it to me. And that sometimes happens as a cutter. You say, I'm open, you got the hands out, and then it results in the turnover.
First turnover here by an O-line in this game.
How is McGill going to respond here? Nice little inside shot off the sideline. And Harry. Also Magma. Got the hair, got the red hair as well. I love that. That's what we like about the college scene. Pettit now. We got two 19s on the field, but Pettit right now wearing the white hat. And Ruben Harry's going to connect with Vlad Zimmy for the break.
And, you know, Marshall didn't want to steal the plaudits. He was like, I'm going to go up, try and get that disc, and then decided not to leave it for the teammate. It's very generous of him, and that's what I expect from this connected McGill team. That McGill's defensive line scored there, and their possession was really top-notch. They were very calm. It's what I would expect to see from an O-line. The fact that it was their D-line doing that says a lot of great things about the potential distances that this team can do in this tournament.
Yeah, sometimes you see D-lines be a bit frantic, so. Ruben Harry, the one who threw that assist, as that's the first break of the game. We saw only one turnover so far, and it's from the team in the gold, the tricolor they're called. Chuck Gale, if you're a Queens fan in the audience. I don't know what McGill has as their kind of chant or cheer. See Coach Richard Bartle-Tubbs running off the field. Really been impressed with this group, he said, and you know, they've never won a title, and they've been knocking on the door second last year, second in 2018. Is this the year for Mutt? That's the question.
I really hope so, Theo. They've been around for a while. They've achieved great things, but they're missing that one title in their trophy case.
Queens toppled UVic, who's at this tournament as well in 2023. Also won a title back in 2018, 2016, and 2015. Players like Mikey McKenzie being on that squad. Other Go players you might have heard of, like a James Lewis or Wilkie Lewis. Those are some other Queens alumni. Dax Miller getting off the sideline to Huang. Huang and Miller, both products of that Toronto system out of elites. Produce a lot of star players, that junior team. And junior system, I should say. As McGill rocking the zone look again. Trying to get a third consecutive point. Got to generate a turnover first as Devin Pearson working things around. We know Queens wants to work the width, but right now they're just cramped on that one side.
The wind has picked up, and it's definitely an upwind, downwind situation. It's a little bit of a diagonal, so it's basically coming from the camera to your far left side. So Queens are kind of going upwind right now, which makes sense why McGill decided to throw a zone on them. They know Queens can't really shoot with this wind, not as accurately as they might like, but Queens is doing a good job of keeping possession. Big scoop there by Dax Miller, cross field. Love to see it.
He's up to the task there. So
I guess once you play both rush and goat, you've got the confidence to do anything, including an upwind scooper across field.
Yeah, he's a heartbeat of this team emotionally as well, and certainly a lot of the offense going to rely on him. And we'll see if some of these players like Huang, who has the disc now, going to cross over to defense. McGill might go with that strategy tomorrow, but perhaps today going to get everyone some burnout here. That throw for Pearson will be taken in by McGill and Spencer Richards. TJ Verland going deep. And just out of the reach, tried to put on the Jets was TJ Verland.
TJ Verland perhaps could have put an absolute show on and try and bid for that, but I think he made the right decision. It's not the day to try and wreck your body just for that one point.
Charlie Lumley now, marked by Verland. Nice grab there from Pearson. His throw was the one that resulted in a turnover earlier. Pearson getting things moving, finding McKinney. This is still a Queens offensive point, Sanjay. Maybe the people are just tuning in, but this is a Queens offensive point with the zone.
They've had more turnovers than I expected from them so far in this game.
I agree with that. We know this team's going to be efficient. They won Ontario, second at Easterns as Huang finds that's Ty Tomlinson. 13 to 23 if you're counting at home. McGill still holds the lead, though.
You mentioned earlier something that I want to touch on more. Speaking to the Queens coach before the game, they had a big focus on trying to use the full width of the field, trying to swing it. Today's a tough day to try and do that because it is really quite windy. It's going to make it hard. And so you saw them trying to do that. They got a little stuck on that far side once or twice during the game, but you saw them when they were successful, they were swinging it and making that McGill zone really work across the full field.
And that's what the pressure they're going to have to put on here. As speaking of pressure, I see some fans have migrated over here. We got some close to our camera side as well. Parents, grandparents, loved ones. They brought the camping chairs out here to cheer on their fellow teams.
This is a big game, Theo. This is not a game that's going to decide the tournament for anybody, but it will. These are two heavy-hitting teams that, honestly, there's a good chance that both these guys are in the finals tomorrow.
Are they your early finals picks? Is that what you're telling me?
Don't put that in paper. I'm not a bettor like that. Looks like Dax Miller is staying on for another point. Nice pull by Queens.
That pull is going to sail inbounds and caught by Oscar Iber-Cregan over to Emmett Andrews. And we knew they were going to put some of those offensive stalwarts on, and they're doing so right now with Dax Miller. O'Donnell, great bid. A foul's going to be called by Andre Savard. Crazy bid, though, there from Queens.
Theo, I didn't see who made that bid there. Who was that?
Yeah, I'm trying to see his number right now. It might be Pete Watson. Eric McFadden, we've been told. I don't have an Eric McFadden on my roster sheet, so we got to figure that one out there, Sanjay. So disc will stay in the hands of McGill. Dylan Wu, marked by Carson Burns, and Wu going to open up the arm looking for O'Donnell. And O'Donnell got up real high. And there's going to be injury called there by Ben Sigurdsson. Kai Huang was also out on this point.
Nice run there by Sigerson. He really made up a lot of ground. I think he knew that this was going to float, and he put a lot of tension on the catch so O'Donnell couldn't make an easy read. Now, he might have to go off for it as an injury, but well done to him for getting up there.
Wang looking deep for Miller. Little go connection here. Miller. Squeezes it in, but it's bobbled. So Queens will not get the break, at least for now. And it's back the other way. Gringas to O'Donnell. And O'Donnell's going to call the timeout. We're going to do the same here as McGill up 3-2. They sense the importance of this point. They're calling a timeout. We're going to do the same. Be right back. O'Donnell with the disc here for McGill, being marked by Dax Miller. This is an offensive point for this McGill side. Big length of Miller, though, trying to make things difficult. Going around looking for Woo. But Tomlinson swats it away, but a foul is called by Woo on Tomlinson. And that leads to some not happy Queens players. Foul is retracted by Woo.
That's my favorite thing in the sport. To see someone like Dylan Woo call a foul, talk about it, and then retract it, that's brilliant spirit.
Kai Huang now has Miller going deep again, working against O'Donnell. Miller is there. And this time it will work out, but there's a travel called by O'Donnell. Both of those players playing for the U24 Open team, so they know each other. And that's always the unique part, right? They might play for a national team together, Sanjay, and then now they're playing as university rivals.
You get a lot of national team crossover. You don't get a lot of club crossover because a lot of the times these university players, they play for the same... play for the regional club teams, you know? So someone might play, you know, on Queens, they might play on Ontario teams, and the McGill team will play on Manic or Magma. Something else I wanted to touch on just while we're dealing with a call here. Oh, is it an... oh, it's another retracted call, and it's a goal for Queens. Something we talked about the observers beforehand, the difference between observing for seniors versus university is with university, you'll get more crazy calls, bigger plays, dangerous plays maybe, but you'll also have players retract more calls because they want to play a spirited game. Whereas in seniors, you have some people who are maybe a bit more, how should I say, stuck in their ways.
So they dialed up some crossovers and got the break they needed. McGill is the team that started on offense, and they're going to do so once again on this point. Queens will receive to start the second half, but they're not even thinking about that right now. As we see a similar offensive line for this McGill side. So we thought maybe, hey, they might just go one line then the other, but it looks like they are going to try to give their offensive line another chance here.
We do know that this McGill side has maybe about 8 O-line players that they kind of rotate through. And even if they're trying to use their full squad today, I'd be surprised if we see many players swap over to that O-line. I think it's going to be D-line where we see the full depth of that squad shown.
I think that's where you can get players in, right, on different defensive points. You give them some burnout there. So right now you want to stick with the offensive line that got you here, winning the Quebec tournament, but also the offensive line that's going to help you try to win a gold medal. O'Donnell going to be the center handler, at least for right now, over to Gringas. Looks like a dominator set here between Wu, O'Donnell, and Gringas. All the cutters pushed up, or downfield, I should say, and they're moving quite quickly now. O'Donnell avoids the bid of McKinney. He's going to call the foul. It's not going to be retracted. It should be an active play, but it looks like contact was not called by O'Donnell, so play will stop. Gringas working against Hyde Zhang. Inside. Leo. Pick is called, so he's going to hold on to the disc. Doesn't want to give that one up. Leo Gringas finds his teammate there for the McGill hold.
Really impressive play there by McGill, all the way up the field. Basically just 3 guys. So hard to stop if you're Queens. And it's not like Queens threw some bums on them, trying to guard them too. Those were good players trying to stop what was a very, very effective dominator.
Oscar A. Bear Cregan with the goal. McGill settled down the nerves, right? Because they got broken the point prior. Able to get the hold there with the same offensive group.
Sometimes when you run a dominator set and you have 3 guys running every point like that, you're really relying on momentum. And so if you stop the play for a foul or whatever it was, like a pick call that we just saw, it can really hamper the progression of that dominator set. But they didn't stop there once.
I like it, especially in the Uni series, to have that dominator set, Sanjay. I'm going to be honest with you. I want to see that more. I think it's a devastating weapon to have.
It's devastating. I'm personally not a huge fan. I'd rather everyone get touches, but I hear you.
Is that from a development perspective or from a trying to win the game perspective?
I guess I'd rather win the long game than the short game.
Okay, that's hey, you heard it here first from Sanjay. Tai Huang finds Devin Pearson. Pearson playing with the Toronto Union, the top mixed team out of that city. Pearson finding Charlie Lumley and over to Tomlinson.
You can hear the McGill guys getting really animated on the sideline here. They care about their defense, and it's plain to see.
Yeah, when you're playing that series, like I said, you're going to develop a lot of bonds, and also people are just going to buy in more because you're playing year-round. Nice grab from Huang. Is that up is the question. Ryan Marshall wasn't sure, but it's going to continue for Queens. Lumley shovels it over to McKinney. Nice grab from Tomlinson, keeping things alive. Former U20 player. Some more confusion happening here, and there's been a lot of stop and go out here. It's like we're on the 401 or something. I don't take the 407. You take the 407?
I don't really drive that often,
Oh,
Thea.
you're lucky then. When I come into Toronto, there's always traffic. Just saying. Tomlinson. He gets hand blocked.
Is he going to call another play on the field here?
It looks like he's calling something. He is incensed. Look, you can see his body language. This game getting a little bit call heavy right now, Sanjay. It means a lot.
Matthew Petit looks calm, so he's trying to call it right thing. It looks like I saw an injury hand signal there for a second.
McGill has 219, so that's Ryan Marshall out there.
Sorry about that. That is annoying.
So
and
when we get two numbers, that's you're confusing the booth. I'm just saying.
Queens also has 2 of the same number. 15 is shared by both Eric McFadden and Sam Watt.
I don't know how that happens. Kai Huang, inside vision. 2 hands hitting the crown was Tomlinson. Marshall still on the mark here for McGill. Sam Doomer also there, number 31, rocking the pink headband.
Kai Huang is just sitting in the backfield, taking all the easy resets, not throwing it away, but he's a reliable dump for all of the Queens offense to know that they're getting it to him. It does mean that Dax Miller is probably not touching the disc nearly as much as I thought he should and would. Another call in the field here, Theo.
Yeah, this time it's a stall down situation. Looks like it's been retracted from Ryan Marshall. We appreciate the hand signals there from Troy Martin, our observer here. Got to hang out with them last night. Observers are a pretty cool group. They got the observatory. We've been, may or may not have been raiding their room for snacks, Sanjay. I don't know.
Did yesterday. Haven't had a chance yet today, Theo. We've had 3 back-to-back games, but we'll get a break just after this one. We have one more stream game today, folks, at 5 p.m. Make sure you log in for that one.
Huang not in just yet.
Now he
push
is.
pass. Yes, he is to Charlie Lumley.
Really pushed in that goal.
Really been impressed with Kai Huang. I know he's playing for GOAT and has played U20 mix, but he's really stepped into a big role here for this GOAT team, especially in the backfield.
Well, talking about some of the big names
Queens
on this Queens team, you know, talking about, say, a Dax Miller or even like a Hyde Zhang, they've been building up for a number of years. Kai Huang has really just appeared on the scene the last couple of years, and he's made big ripples in what is a fairly small Queens pond of Ultimate Frisbee.
Hey, when you think about Queens, you think about the legacy that Pete Galbraith has left with just developing players after players. A lot of the B team, Superfly, has made their way up to the A team, and they've just continued to produce at that high level. Superfly got a lot of wins over A teams at tournaments before this one, and so there's a lot of development happening at that school. Mike Cabral, another coaching staff member, and Jacob Clement. So we got a lot of alumni buy-in here for Queens. And, you know, I lived in Kingston for a year, Sanjay, so I may or may have not attended a Queens Trout to kind of get some scouting on a couple years ago. But
yeah, what do you think of living up in London?
London? You mean Kingston?
Sorry, Kingston.
Well, I lived in London too, though. I will say that. But the Limestone City is what they call it. I have yet to live in Montreal. Would love to do that. McGill, of course, an Anglophone school, so they get a lot of Americans and other people that have come up. I know players like Hayden Stone, Calvin Colberry from Texas. So they have Americans that will join the team because, you know, they fully speak English in classes, etc. Whereas would be a little bit different with UDM or Sherbrooke or Laval. O'Donnell. He was playing safe with it here. Dylan Wu backhand. Looking for Oscar Hebert-Cregan. OHC.
Nice try there by Hebert-Cregan. Tough shot. It really went out the back. Not a lot he could do there to try and catch that one. I actually liked how
Bellevaux.
Thank you, Bellevaux by Queens. He was reading that disc. He wasn't his man, but he knew to poach off and try and support there if he could. That visor is really working wonders for him.
They don't have the same the hats that Sherbrooke has. They had matching hats yesterday. It made it very hard to identify certain players as Hyde Zhang's throw just hits the turf. Just a turf throw here. Dylan Wu finding Andrews. Looks like Andrews set up for an inside shot. You could just see the way he's holding the disc, being marked by Ryan Tam. Both teams have a break apiece. We're still on serve right now if you're just tuning in. Gringas. Inside lefty shot to Kai O'Donnell.
Tough thread. If that guy doesn't work out as an alternate Frisbee player, he should be a seamstress because he really threaded that needle.
Threading the needle to 3 assists so far. Make that 3 goals for number 10 as well. So McGill getting a lot of contributions from Leo Gringas, the rookie who's played for Manic, as well as Kai O'Donnell, who's suited up for his hometown team in Blackfish out of Vancouver, British Columbia. I think it's very interesting because Queens attracts a lot of Ontario students, certainly. But I feel like McGill's more, I don't want to say international, but they get people from all over, and like I said, the United States as well. I think it's one of the top-rated schools in the country, or in the world, no, McGill?
What, academically?
Academically, yeah.
I have my own opinions on that, Theo, but
Oh,
let's
no.
just say yes.
Am I wrong in the university rankings? I don't read those McLean magazines anymore.
We have planes flying overhead, likely other schools making sure they're trying to scout out this game. I get it. These are two heavy-hitting teams. Tight game so far, 5-4. Now Queens is on offense. Let's see if they can keep the game at level.
What I really want to see is a game. I don't think we've done a game yet that's gone to 15.
No, that's true.
I want to see that. That means quick offensive points.
That means realistically probably a pretty one-sided game, Theo.
You don't think it could go 15-13 with 80-minute games tough, eh? I think that's tough.
We were doing the math earlier, Theo. If you have a 7-minute half and then
2 timeouts, I'm
timeout
telling you, yeah.
per team.
That's
or,
8 timeouts total.
You know, it's not a lot of game time. Plus, you get the wind. It just means the points are longer than what teams are hoping for.
And it sometimes feels like the first half is a feeling out process, but with these shorter games, it's not.
Dax Miller isolated at the back of the end zone. Continuation of this throw. Gets the disc.
Yeah, he was working against Jonathan Barry. Jonathan Barry also on that U24 Open team. A long defender. Going to go against Dax Miller. Pick called by Aiden McGibbon on Tomlinson.
Queens calling up their tango end zone play. Let's see what that means.
Yeah, I want to know. It ain't a dancing number.
Somebody's free!
Tomlinson. Stall count rising.
Go! There we go. Nice.
You said the tango wasn't a dance move, but that was a beautiful 3-step by Kai Huang to get open there.
They're getting the dancing shoes on right now.
I don't know if McGill are just saying yes when they get scored on, but if it is, I love that positive thinking from them.
Queens telling McGill they're calling time. We don't often see that. We're going to do the same. Be right back. Score tied, 5-all. Queens calling a timeout and trying to put some more firepower on the field as they're sensing and hunting for a break here. Theo on here with Sanjay Parker. Bring you the action.
Exactly. Queens D-line is now up. I'm really interested to see what they're going to do to throw at this McGill O-line to try and create a break. I see they're trying to do a bit of a power line. So maybe you can talk a bit more about that. So maybe part of that timeout was to give some of these guys a rest. Great pull by Dax Miller.
Yeah, Tomlinson on the field, Huang, both are our O-line players.
Dax Miller doesn't really count as an O-line player. He's just everywhere.
Dylan Wu, they know he's going to look to blast the disc and throw it far here. Aber Cregan being marked by Eric McFadden. Leo Gringas.
Queens are
Dylan Wu has ejected downfield. What a throw from Kyle O'Donnell, finding Dylan Wu. Seeing some extracurricular activity afterwards there.
Love the camaraderie.
O'Donnell has 3 goals. Now he has an assist to his name as well.
Dylan Wu and Tage Tomlinson obviously know each other from Team Canada days.
Now, here's the thing. You've crossed over those O-line players, like a Dax Miller, like Kai Huang, and now they're back out on the field on offense. I mean, these points have been relatively quick. Let's see what McGill decides to do on their defensive set here.
Theo, when you start running these teams, start running these players with the lines like this so early in the tournament, it does risk them getting fatigued by the end.
We saw cramps in that Friday qualifier game between Tula and Sherbrooke with multiple players, and I certainly understand your sentiment. And so we'll see how these two teams decide to play it. This is their final pool play matchup. They will have time to rest today. They're unlike the women's division, which has their last game at 5 o'clock. I don't know if they're happy about that. They got the late start, but you're ending around 7 o'clock Eastern. You got to get fuel in and then get ready to play tomorrow.
Some people would rather start late and end late. Some people would rather start early and end early. That's me,
What's
for
your
sure.
pick?
I'm definitely a start early, end early.
Give me early. Give me early.
I'll get on the field at 7 a.m. if you want me to.
I'll do it. I'll do it as well. You're right. Both these teams had to come out early because they started around 8 o'clock, so they would have been at the fields around 7. Knowing the coaching staffs and what they ask of these players, definitely got to get early for the warm-ups. Evan Pearson now. Going around, finding Lumley. Lumley been a great addition for this Queens side. Played for the U20 East PAYUC, that's Pan American Youth Championships team. Tomlinson on the run.
Matthew Petit doing a great job of organizing this McGill defensive side. He's the last back, and he's really communicating exactly what he wants from the rest of this McGill side. Hammer over the top, creates a bunch of space.
Yeah, a little upside down action from Miller as Queens out on the move. Huang finding Pearson.
Finish it, Dom! Finish it, Dom! Don't go back.
Huang finding Pearson. Lumley. Doorstep. A little fake. Stumble down from McKinney, but he keeps concentration. Wow. They did not draw it up that way, Sanjay.
No, they didn't. But they still got it regardless. Sometimes that happens. You bid on that first fake. Sometimes it works out for you. Sometimes it doesn't. And then it just fakes him out so well that he's off. 6-6 now. Looks like halftime is going to be after this point. Opportunity for Queens to break and take half would be a huge momentum for them in the second half.
So we have one of our observers here. That's Alan Baggish as Queen's going to take the timeout. Alan, can you let us know why the half is at 7? Normally half is at 8, but maybe for newer viewers at home, why is half at 7?
Sure. So we're dealing with a 40-minute halftime cap here. So at 40 minutes, the play was going on. We finished that play. and add 1 point to the highest score. We finished that point, and it was 6-all. So we're playing. Our new halftime cap is 7. So
okay, all right, sounds good. And Alan, you've been on radio. You have a great voice for radio right now, is what I'm saying. So, any other thoughts you have for the observers who are probably going to be watching this back in review? What do you have to say to them? What message you got?
I think they're doing a great job. I think they're letting the players have the communication they need to have. They're moving the game along when players are having long discussions, and I really appreciate the work they're doing out here.
Sounds good. Thank you, Alan, for joining us. We're going to take a break here as Queens calls a timeout. It's going to be 6-all right now as we come back after this break. Coming on the timeout, Queens, you know they're going to call a power line out here. They're trying to take half. You know Dax Miller's going to be on the field, Kai Huang as well, Ty Tomlinson. Hyde Zhang also making his way out there, Will Beveridge. A couple others, going to see if we can identify them for you as they're set to take off. And we see them running right down. That's Carson Burns, and Eric McFadden is the other player for Queens. Standard O-line here for McGill.
We spoke last point about the organization that Petit brought to that McGill D-line. Now it's Dax Miller at the back organizing the Queens D.
Trying to organize that Queens zone as a disc in the hands of Andre Savard. Rocking the hoodie. I wonder if he can see without that vision impairment blocking his sides of view, but he's looking swaggy out there, and he's trying to catch that goal for half. And Tomlinson showing off the speed. Was behind before the throw went up, but was ahead once the throw landed.
Tage Thomason, maybe not the tallest guy on this Queens team, but boy, he can move. He's an athletic child with broad shoulders that make him look like the side of a barn.
Inside shot from Zhang. We saw Zhang turf a throw earlier near this spot. He's sure-handed there, finding Carson Burns. Back to Zhang. Zhang trying to fake out the mark there of Savard. Can Queens be patient here? Get away, Kai! An out-of-bounds active call was made on Queens. So McGill will have the disc with their top handler, Dylan Wu. Greenhouse trying to shake free of Beveridge. O'Donnell. Thought about the inside. It's going to need a reset with stall count climbing. Going to air it to the end zone.
Dax Miller.
Dax Miller can't get there. It's Oscar Hebert-Cregan celebrating here. And some discussion with Dax Miller at the end.
Dax did seem to go a little bit over his head. I understand why he would feel a sort of way about how Dax tried to play defense there.
I think they looked like they were trying to high-five after, but I don't think they actually did at the end. So some tempers flaring perhaps. We'll see if there's a card given. I see observers talking. But that's a hold and the score for McGill. They started on O, so we're still on serve here. We want to see if we can figure out, maybe Alan Baggish, our observer in the booth, can explain what's happening once we come back from break out of half. But looks like there's some discussion between the observers, coaches, and McGill players out there. Sanjay, any final thoughts before we go to halftime break?
Tight game so far, exactly what we would expect from this kind of game. I think the game started to open up in the second half as both teams learned what the defenses was trying to give and take away from them. Interesting to see what the coaches say to their teams at halftime and how the teams perform in the second half.
And with that, we'll be back after a couple of minutes. Stay tuned for the conclusion of this exciting matchup between McGill and Queens.
I love working with a team towards a common goal.
For the camaraderie,
Camaraderie and playing with my teammates.
I play for my team.
Teamwork and the connections that I can build on and off field.
for the community and the exercise.
Because of the community and the competition.
I like playing ultimate frisbee for the competition.
I play for the competition and the fun.
For fun,
Because fun.
I love getting to work hard.
You get out of it what you put into it.
Leave everything out here.
Every time I step on the field, I want to be a better player.
You know, give something people to talk about.
Be happy but never satisfied. To step away from real life and focus on frisbee.
I play because I love ultimate.
Find your drive.
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 Back here for some more pool play action between Queens and McGill. The score is 6-7 for the kids at home.
Coach Pete is not happy with that score. He wants it to be much more.
No, the 6-7 reference. He's not happy with that either. He's got some young kids at home. I don't know if they're saying 6-7 just yet, but oh, they are.
He hates the number 6-7. He wants to get this game started as soon as possible so that at least some team scores. He doesn't even care if it's Queens at this point. He just wants the score to change. Understandable to everyone here, everyone watching who's not Gen Z. I think everyone at home can relate. Or maybe you just don't get the reference. I feel like it's probably 50-50.
Yeah, you got to look it up, I think. All right, Queens back on offense. Similar looking group. Tomlinson, Huang, Beveridge, Pearson, Lumley. Can't identify the sixth person on the line, but that's Dax Miller. I think it's Don McKinney. Don McKinney is the sixth person on the line there for Queens.
Another tall
players.
Another tall Queens man.
Someone we haven't talked about too much is Jonathan Barry, the U24 Open. He's been on the pole. He's a long defender. He's going to be on Will Beveridge right now. We're kind of in the side mid, I should say, as Mathieu Pettit there in the backfield.
Petit, I believe. We got to make sure we get
He goes by Pettit or Petit.
Oh,
He told me,
my apologies.
He
Mathieu.
gave me permission to call him Pettit.
We talked earlier about Queens wanting to spread the field, and they're doing a fantastic job. In 2 throws, they're throwing the whole distance. Makes it really hard for that McGill defense to keep up their endurance.
And more tango calls here from the McGill side. We thought it was actually a Queens call, but it's actually a McGill call.
Must be a call to melt.
Yeah, I think
from
so
their
as well.
zone defense.
Tomlinson evades the hands of Barry there. Pearson gets the goal
Bit
and the
of a
hold.
lucky throw there.
He was very close, Jonathan Barry. He's asking for up calls from the sideline. He's saying, I didn't hear it. You got to tell me.
Sidelining is maybe the most important thing to a successful team. Maybe not, but it's up there. We found out more about why McGill shout yes after they lose a point. Apparently it's a psychological thing carried over from the U.S., and it's just a positive mentality. If you shout yes enough times, you're going to feel good about yourself.
I've seen that in many. I've done a few college championships now in my day, and I've seen a lot of college teams go yes or put their hands up after getting scored on. I understand that they're trying to reset mentally out here.
Yes.
Yes. And Daniel Bryan, if anyone watches wrestling, he kind of coined that. That was the big yes movement in WWE.
Yes.
Dax Miller remaining on the field for Queens. Do you think he's going to take a point off, Sanjay?
Now, Dax Miller is a specimen of humankind. He could probably play every point for the whole tournament and not get tired, but it's not something, if I was coaching him, I'd want to risk. But look, I'm not Pete. It's clear that I'm not coaching Queens for a reason.
In contrast, players like Dylan Wu, we have not seen them cross over to D, right? We haven't seen Dylan Wu or Leo Gringas. I don't think we've seen Kai O'Donnell on the D-line either.
It's different strategies, but it doesn't seem to be working for Queens in the sense that if you're playing all these players, all these points, you'd expect to be winning, but it's a tie game at this point.
Cam Brown thought about hunting for the block, but Abear Cregan will keep possession with the ball for McGill. Zone look here from Queens. Can McGill be patient here, finding Emin Andrews? I think there was a collision between O'Donnell and Archie Carlisle. Looks like Charlie Lumley going to take Carlisle's place.
Archie Carchi, known in the Toronto scene, he's a tough cookie. He's going to be fine in just a second.
Queens, or McGill, I think not to sub anyone on here. I believe we're tapped in. The injured player had tapped the disc, and so that's why Dylan Wu had started moving. Because Charlie Lumley's the one who came in place of the injury of Archie Carlisle.
Just coming in now. There's Wu with the disc. You can hear the Queens sideline telling the Queens players just to slow down a little bit, make sure they're controlling their actions. Don't overstep when they're trying to catch up, because that's how you get easy around throws.
Gringas, nice throw. Finding Emin Andrews. He's been a star for this team, number 2, the lefty.
Sometimes if you can't throw around, you got to throw inside like he just did there. Great throw. Tough little throw from the corner.
4th assist for number 2. Just a rookie on this team.
And we do have confirmation that Archie Carlisle is back on the field. That's good. Good to see that he's okay.
Is that a well-known nickname for him?
Everyone I know calls him that, including
Okay.
his partner. Dax Miller is on again, Theo. That's probably close to half a dozen points that he's played consecutively. I know he's one of the best players in the province, let alone maybe the country, but that's a lot of pressure to put on a young man's shoulders.
Yeah, we talked about Leo Gringas earlier, but a lot been put on his shoulders. He's a rookie we talked about, but he's actually a master's student, so got a lot of veteran experience. And Dax Miller getting some experience with the Toro scene and moving on up from there into GOAT, etc. And so he's asked to play a lot of minutes right now. Kai Huang has not crossed over to D, at least on that last point there. Big pull coming here for McGill and Ryan Marshall. Marshall was part of that Masters of Flying Objects team that won a title back on this field in 2022. Tomlinson. It's working against Lucius Conlon. Low throw picked up by Dax Miller. Petted on him. And not a tango call this time. It's a fire call from the McGill sideline. Tomlinson. Looking for a reset, finds McKinney. Inside. A little behind Miller. Pettit will get credited with the block, and can McGill turn this on? Marshall gesturing perhaps for a timeout. Let's see if he takes it.
Not a lot of break points in this game so far. It's been a very tight game. A lot of the
one each
offenses have done a great job of keeping possession. If McGill can get this, it could be the deciding point in this game.
Vlad Zimi now going up the line. Is that too far? It's not. Now there's a little bit of clogging, and Zimi going down the line. We'll find Ryan Marshall for the McGill break.
Great vision. He really knew exactly where he wanted to put that. Floated it into the far corner and gave tons of space for his compatriot to get there in time. You can see some of the Queens O-line getting frustrated that they let that in. It's a funny team because it's also very strong defensively. O-line. I mean, what I mean to say is that O-line is very strong defensively, so you can see why they would be frustrated to let that through. But they can't let it get into their heads. They must know that they're a strong team and they can win this. They just need to be patient.
Yeah, a big thing is the body language, right? You see O-lines get upset, and we understand that, but you got to have positive body language to show that you can push through some of those moments, because these games are going to have ebbs and flows, right? And so let's see how Queens responds here. And to kind of set the stage here, they beat Sherbrooke 12-10, but earlier in the day, that's their first game. They lost on Universe to Guelph 11-10. On the other side, McGill Mutt, they defeated Guelph 11-10 and Sherbrooke by 2. So unless Sherbrooke can do something against Guelph here, they would finish 0-3. They came off through the Friday qualifiers. We saw them yesterday. Both you and I got to call that game. But they're trying to make a three-way tie action happening, and McGill, they might just have their eyes on taking the pool.
Interesting to see how much McGill has changed their D-line, considering it's going to be their second D-line in a row. Queens haven't changed their O-line at all, clearly saying that we have confidence in these 7 guys. Let's give them another run out.
And they're also resting their O-line guys. No O'Donnell or Gringas on the field, Abear Cregan or Dylan Wu. So I like that setup for McGill.
We talk about how deep of a team this Queens team is, or we talked about how deep that Tula women's team was earlier, but this McGill team really has a lot of depth. They can just run out maybe 21 guys who all can play, at least defensively, if not offensively. A very athletic French team right here.
Yeah, a lot of players playing with Manic, some play with Magma as well, so getting that club experience. Miller taking a couple extra steps upfield, but play will continue. Wang, high throw. Pearson scoops it out of the sky. Rips it out, I should say. Pearson reset to Wang. Miller. End zone set here. Working against Barry is Miller. Team Canada teammates going at it. That throw almost caught by Beveridge. It is caught.
Looks like the observers are making some sort of call. That was a really fantastic bid by Beveridge, but it might have been a dangerous play because he came through the back of the McGill defender. There's also a chance that they're calling him out of bounds, and so his first point of contact, once he had control of the disc, was actually outside of the end zone. Dax Miller asking for a replay. Not something I think we can offer him right now. He's coming from a rush background. He wishes. Feel free to comment in below if you think it was in or out. We have the chat open, so we'll be able to tell the players what the fans think.
But maybe some of them are used to tournaments where they have the big screen. You can review those things.
It would be a defining point if Queens don't get this. If Queens don't get this and McGill go up 10-7,
Yeah.
I'd probably say that's game. Unless something crazy happens, of course. We've seen crazy things happen at this tournament before. All right, looks like the throw has just been sent back to Kai Huang.
Nice little 7 cut there from Miller, the lefty, southpaw. Backhands it and finds Ty Tomlinson. Third goal for Tomlinson on the day. Second assist for Dax Miller.
12 minutes left, Theo. Queens are now down by 2 breaks. They got to do something different if they're going to get it on. I also wonder if Dax Miller is just going to stay on the field for the rest of this game. I guess it's the last game of the day, so it's possible.
Well, Pete Galbraith, we mentioned before, he sent me the stats. No team that's ever gone 1-2 in pool play has won a title here in Division I Open at CUUC. And Queens is at risk of that if they lose this game. They'd be 1-2. So maybe he's playing into the stats that he sent me. He knows. Remember, the Queens has to win by 2, correct, Sanjay?
That's right. They have to win by 2 in order to finish top of the division.
Top of the pool.
Pool division group.
Well, there's another pool.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
I think the viewers know what you were trying to get at.
Thanks.
So Miller still on the field. We see Huang out there, Hyde Zhang. Carson Bird's getting some burn as well as Eric McFadden, Ty Tomlinson, Dom McKinney, and Dax Miller. That's the 7 on the D line here with the standard offensive line for Mutt.
Feels like Queens are really throwing out their universe point line, trying to get this turn, trying to get this break so that they can have a chance of winning this game.
You see O'Donnell isolated against Huang here.
What a fun matchup that is.
Wu gonna call a foul on Miller. See if Miller's gonna think about it. Observer's gonna talk to each other. I see them on the mic.
I did think that was a foul by Dax Miller. I thought that Wu had the disc up in the air. Dax hit his arm, and that's what caused Wu to bobble it. Let's see what the observers have to say.
We'll hope it gets resolved quickly with time running down here. At least it's a 1-point game, which we do like. But of course, McGill, if they were able to score, would make that a 2-point advantage. We see Troy, one of the observers, talking in the radio to Jeff Blair. Troy Martin.
Looks like the observer agrees with what I said, and that he does think that Dax affected Wu's ability to catch that disc.
So Miller trying to contest it, but if it's the observer ruling, it's going to go the way of what the observer rules. If one of them chooses to go to an observer, Team Orange out here. Wu will keep the disc, and he's a threat to shoot it here. Around to Gringas. O'Donnell. They've run this Dominator set before with these 3 individuals. Look how quick Dylan Wu's moving the disc right now. Gringas working against Tomlinson. Those 3 just going together. And Miller, I think he was trying to find someone else, and there was a foul call, but play now stops once again. Incidental contact, it looked like, from Miller.
running a successful dominator against being defended by Kai Huang, Dax Miller, and Tage Tomlinson. You got to give credits to that McGill offense. It's really something else.
Ty Tomlinson was there in coverage, and he didn't get the block, but the pressure results in the McGill turnover.
I guess that's a commentator's curse. Sorry about that, McGill.
Now they got that offensive firepower on the field. But McGill going in his own look. I also like their shorts they got on. It's kind of like the Cal Poly slow shorts, if you know, in the open division. Rocking the 2 Mutt logos on the back of the shorts. As Queens out on the move. Miller finds McKinney. Excuse me, that's McFadden. That's McFadden. McFadden finding Miller. Hyde Zhang is poached. Stumbles to the ground, but keeps it alive. I'm not sure if the force changed there, but Hyde Zhang finds Dax Miller, and we got a tie game.
Now, it's a tie game, Theo, but is it a win for Queens if they don't win by 2? If they tie it, then
they would all have won a game by 1, so there would be another tiebreaker that would have to take place, which my brain cannot comprehend right now. Maybe our resident fact checker, Andrew Batchelor, if he's watching, he could tell us. Will McGill call a timeout? Looks like Queens has called the timeout. Sanjay, let's do the same. We'll be right back. Queens back out on defense as Dax Miller with the pull. He has not taken a point off here in the second half. McGill standard offensive line out here. We'll see if they run that same dominator set.
We talk about Dax not really resting, but Kai, and even Kai Huang, Hyde Zhang haven't really rested that much either.
Yeah, and they're drawing, and Tomlinson, Miller, and Huang were drawing those matchups. Green gas. O'Donnell up the line. A poach from Zhang not going to work out. Safe play to not bid. O'Donnell going around to Wu. Wu's throw is going to be swatted away. Big block there from McFadden. It looks like Queen's going to call their second and final timeout of the half. Is Miller calling the timeout? We're trying to maybe establish the stall count.
Dax did call out timeout. It looks like Coach Pete of Queens was not happy about it. We're going to take another break. Coming back to you right after.
So what's the ruling?
Back on the field after a Queens timeout. Score is 9-all, 9-9 for the fans at home, and this could potentially decide the top of the pool. There's some tiebreaker procedures we're trying to work from our end. Queens lost to Guelph by 1. McGill beat Guelph by 1. So what can Queens do here? Savard going up against Tomlinson. It's been a very competitive game, and Gringas almost got the block. Maybe if he left his feet there, Sanjay. Huang. Finding Burns. Burns has a couple teammates going deep, but going to holster it instead.
You can tell these Queens guys are really giving it their all. They really want to get this point and this dub in this game, but they're also doing a really good job of trying to make smart plays. Tough to do.
Tomlinson finding Huang, working against O'Donnell. Gringas, I think, got a lot of contact with Miller. I think Observer's going to get involved here. Calls being tight this late in the game.
2.5 minutes left to go in this game. That second timeout call by Dax Miller was a big decision, not only because it uses the only timeout they have left, but also because of how much time there is left in this game. Just a reminder, if Queens wins by 1 point, it's a 3-way tie, and then it goes to the number of goals scored total. Not goals conceded, but total
between
goals
the
scored.
three teams that are tied.
Correct.
And that would be Guelph, Queens, and McGill. Ottawa's up big in their contest on the other side on UVic, so I believe they're going to take the pool on the other end. Appreciate the update from the third member of our team, Cat 410. We do have observer Alan Baggish here if we needed to resolve any calls, like our Gene Testator or some other rules experts you often hear in the booth.
Looks like that foul call was accepted by the McGill team. Dax Miller with the disc.
Miller thought about the hammer. He's got to be calm here with time running down. McFadden. A pick called as McKinney was quite free there. Tomlinson was also trying to go into that open side space.
It benefits McGill to slow down this game here. If they can get the disc back or just leave it as a +1 game, that benefits them.
Yeah, we'd have to go into the points after that. We got to figure that out. Hai Huang. Inside throw to Miller. And a foul was called by Emmett Andrews.
That happened while Dax was cutting up line getting that disc. Emmett Andrews fell and didn't think his fall was going to affect the disc. And then once Dax got the disc and his mark was clearly open, he then retracted it and called that foul.
Yeah, that foul was called on Eric McFadden. This discussion, I don't think, helps the Queen side right now. They want to score before the horn and try to win by 2. I'm Dax Miller. I see an open teammate in the end zone. That's Carson Burns. And it's swatted down by Malcolm Kolinski. End zone turnover. Will McGill call a timeout? They are not. O'Donnell is going deep. Big flick hawk from Gringas. Horn is gone. O'Donnell with the catch. Finding Wu. And Wu will hit O'Donnell for the score. McGill's going to take the game here and take the pool. So no 3-way tiebreakers needed. Guelph's going to take second in the pool, and Queens will be third.
We knew coming in, Queens were one of the strongest teams in this division. They're one of the favorites to go all the way. And as you said, history has said that no team that's ever lost 2 group stage games have ever won it. So let's see tomorrow if Queens is going to be the first team to break that streak.
Hey, they're trying to break that curse, so to speak. They're trying to break down the stats here.
What a great game against 2 very evenly matched teams. I really hope we see them both play against each other tomorrow because I'd be interested to see what the teams will change if that happens. That's the end of the open division here on Saturday. We've got a whole round of playoff games and knockout rounds tomorrow, and we'll crown a winner at the end of the day today. We've got a bye now, and then we've got one last game with the women's division, the final game of the women's division today at 5 p.m.
Sanjay, we haven't done this yet. but I'm going to throw this on you because we have some time. Players of the game we'll start with the winning team, McGill. Who do you got as your player of the game for McGill?
I gotta say, I think Dylan Wu did a really good job of holding down that O-line. I thought he made some plays, but what I also really liked about how he played is that even when he made a mistake, some extra contact, he was able to pull it back, keep it mature and retract some calls. I thought that was really good by him. I also thought Matthew Petit did a great job of organizing that defensive squad and keeping it strong against what was a very, very talented Queens O-line.
Yeah, Queens player of the game. Are you going to give that one as well there? I think we might know, but maybe you will venture from the obvious.
I'm actually going to venture a little bit from the obvious.
I like that.
Yes, I think the obvious is maybe a Dax Miller or a Kai Huang. The guy who really impressed me today was Tay Tomlinson. I thought he was everywhere. I thought he was really consistent, and I thought he did a lot considering that this was a game defined by the tall players, and he was able to get up and contribute a lot, especially on the defensive end. He's also one of those guys that we didn't mention playing so many points, but he was there nonstop almost the entire game.
Yeah, that's going to wrap it up here. We're going to take a break, but 5 o'clock showdown. The teams are? We got to pull up the schedule. We don't know it off the top of our heads. Women's division coming at you. Sanjay, you're going to be on the call for that one as well.
Ottawa, Manitoba.
University of Ottawa and Manitoba will go to action there, so stay tuned for that 5 o'clock. We'll see you then. Bye for now.